Welcome back. Outside Minds podcast. Because you've already seen too much, bro.
They only added it so it could be like a ritual.
They're saying there's these, the end of times, right? There's all these signs.
Do you think we would know? Like, do you think the general public would know this game?
Take a picture for $5. You have a purpose in life, and if you don't fulfill it, you will come back until you fulfill it.
Welcome back to the Outside Minds podcast. We are live and outside with episode 31. I am your host and creator, Steelo Free. This is the other host and creator,
.420.
and we're doing a Swapcast today. We actually just finished it, so we're gonna go back in time and meet with the Sunday Night Secret Society podcast guys. So
Check it out.
We're going to go live. All right, gentlemen. Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Sunday Night Secret Society. Tonight, we're going to dig into something pretty fun. It's something that I've been very interested in. I know Hank's been interested in it as well. And so we're going to be going over it. And we're going to be going over it with both Steelo and Dot from the Outside Minds podcast. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. We just got through those fires that are 30 to 45 minutes up the block. You know what I'm saying, and all the BS that came with it. So we're just trying to figure out, what's going on with all that. But we're pushing through, man. What about you guys? How's it going over there?
I don't know. Kyle's up there. He's doing pretty good. He's had a little breeze up there in NorCal, but it's been colder than all Satan's dick out here in Arkansas.
I bet.
It's been cold over here.
I wouldn't be able to last.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, I woke up, it was 3 degrees.
Oh, fuck no.
Fuck.
Dude, if I were you, Hank, I would have, like, if that were me, because I'm a California boy, I would definitely be purchasing the electric socks. I would have multiple layers on, the long johns, the long joes, the long janes. I would have it all, dude.
Yeah, we do what we can.
We do.
Yeah, I don't know if I like extreme heat or extreme cold better. I'm still undecided.
Yeah, California's
I'd
been
rather it be
weird.
hot.
California has been cold one day, warm the next, cold one day, warm the next, and then raining tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it really honestly is. It's the weather is so bizarre down here. Well, we're already going to be talking about things up in the sky.
Yeah.
So you guys know down here, you guys look up, man, they spray us so heavily.
I see it every day.
It's insanity. It's not even like one or two. Like they're everywhere, and they're going on from the time that I can actually see up in the sky. I get up and it's usually still dark. So as soon as that sun rises, I can already see them doing their work. And throughout the entire day, it is nonstop spraying, and it's crazy. And I know damn well it's affecting the weather, because like you guys said, it's hot, it's cold, and then we're getting rain. I'll have rain probably by the end of this show. It'll be raining, and it's just super bizarre. And then could wake up tomorrow and it'll be 75 degrees. So
Yep.
What exactly they're doing, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's crazy when you talk about them spraying stuff, because of course you have like the whole chemtrail theory and all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking about it right now, and you look around, and not only do you see people just super unhealthily obese, but also just think about how normal it is to have like chronic migraines and stuff like that, and just like digestive problems and respiratory problems, and that can't just be from anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely stuff that's starting to be accepted on a wide scale. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, I feel like, you didn't really hear as much as, the normal person just having migraine problems, but I feel like it's something everyone deals with.
Something in the air.
Yeah, quite literally something in the air. And it's, yeah, and of course we can't say 1,000% that that's exactly why, but there's no doubt when you're getting heavy metals sprayed all over you, throughout the day, you're breathing it in, right? It's getting into the soil, which is then getting into the foods and the produce that we consume.
Yep.
the cattle, the livestock are all consuming it like it or not. We are then in turn eating that livestock. And so I think, I don't know if it, I don't, like I said, I don't know what the plan is, but I'm really hoping, I say I hope, but I really don't think that Gavin Newsom at any time soon will be banning the chemtrails going on. I know Tennessee has banned it. I don't know other states that have banned it.
Newsom won't do that.
I can't trust shoulder shakes as far as I could throw them.
Shoulder shakes.
What I'm saying.
Man, it's horrible.
He's the spawn of a demon, dude. There's no doubt in my mind. That guy's just a
He looks
absolute.
like one. Yeah.
He does, dude. He with his little comb back, greasy ass hair. I
want to punch him in his
cannot
face. I want to
Can't
punch
stand him, man.
I'll fight him for charity.
Set up a boxing match.
I got 5 on it.
I love it. So,
Gentlemen, we know we got a tight timeline to deal with tonight, but we're talking about this Malaysian Flight 370. It's something that I've been interested in for years, and just recently there was a big documentary that came out that kind of re-sparked interest in it, because I kind of forgot about it. It's been since 2014. It's been 11 years almost. 11 years. Yep. And so it's crazy to think that we ultimately don't know what happened to this airplane.
No definitive answer.
Is in the public, because I do believe there's people that do know exactly what happened. And one of the clips that we might end up playing is does a really good job of showing exactly why it's not a stretch to say someone knows what happened. But
I agree.
Well, it's crazy. The Russia theory on it, because it leads back to Obama, and it leads back to the U.S.'s special interests of protecting Ukraine against Russia. And I was thinking about that today, and the most viable reason for me was that I know that we have, at least it's rumored that we have biolabs there. So the U.S. definitely has shown a record of having a very special interest in protecting Ukraine from Russia. So when I was seeing into that angle of it, I was seeing that's like, at least for me, that's one of the most viable reasons of it could have happened, of it could it being, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Me personally, I put a lot of stock into the orb theory, that was teleported somewhere. Now, I don't really know where I lean as far as who was behind the said teleportation, how it was exactly done, what the orbs were, and where the plane ultimately went, what happened with the 200 plus passengers on board. I don't know. Somebody does. I don't know. And it's like that for a reason. But I don't think Russia was involved, me personally. I don't think this was a rogue incident by the pilot. I don't think he was training at home on flight sims to do it. I don't believe the plane was hijacked. I don't believe it ended. You hear one of the theories is that somehow it ended up at this United States Black Ops site. Either it's in Africa or off the coast of Africa, called like Diego Garcia.
Yep,
is
I
what
heard
they
about
call
that.
it. I think it is. And that was potentially where the plane could have went down, landed there. And if you've got the a black site from the government out there, who knows what happened to these people? I mean, they're probably back in the public, kind of like the Challenger.
That's the first thing. As soon as you started that sentence, that's the thing that popped in my mind.
There's precedent for it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't think it was one of the. I don't think all the pieces of plane that has washed up. They say there's been over 20 different pieces of it wash up. No, thank you.
We were talking about that earlier, how they were trying to date the what was it, the plankton on it or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right. And they're trying to say, the scientists or whatever, that all the big ones, or the algae or whatever, all the big ones maybe have gotten eaten and that's why it looked like it was a newer piece that had been set in. But that's just scientists trying to get their data points, proven. But I don't know. It could have been planted. I believe more in that, because why wasn't anything else definitively found? Like, if that was washed up, there had to have been something else that you can pinpoint for sure that belonged to that.
Also, too, the orb theory will be like a great reason why they're reintroducing like the Netflix documentary at this time. You know what I mean? Because we have all the orbs and all that stuff going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure the CIA could have a lot to do with that. You know what I'm saying? And I know that Diego Garcia is their island or whatever, right? Is that correct?
I don't know if it's a CIA black site, but I do know that it is some kind of government military black site that the public wasn't really supposed to know about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I think that that's the kind of theory that I go with. I do think it was teleported or cloaked. I don't know if maybe somehow whatever orbs that were surrounding it was able to cloak it and then almost like steer it down to the Diego Garcia base. And it reminds me, it's actually a really good show. And I just ruined it because I said a really good show. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the one. It's on Netflix, and essentially, and I'll get the name of the show in just a moment.
Yeah,
but essentially, all
earlier.
these people, they get on the plane and they just go on a flight.
Yeah.
They hit some turbulence, right? They hit a lot of turbulence, and then they end up landing. And when they land, it's like 20 years later, but they were only gone, like they were only on like an hour and a half, maybe a 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
Yep.
And really good show. And that came out now I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious. Manifest.
Manifest.
Okay, so
Manifest.
the crazy thing about that show is because I don't know what exactly that show dealt with, but it does remind me of I think it's either the Manhattan experiment they called it, or the Manhattan Project, or the Philadelphia experiment, where
the Philadelphia experience.
Yeah, so they were fucking with like cloaking technology that was like warping like time and space and quantum entanglement and all that kind of stuff. And there was I think they were dealing with like time dilation issues and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And time dilation has a lot to do with like quantum mechanics and warping space time and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very viable theory as well.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man.
I definitely think it's some
like you were saying. We've got orbs in the skies today.
No,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with you in the sense that I think, like you were talking about the orbs, I do think someone does know what happened, but it might be like some government, I don't know which one or what, but it could be obviously they have technology, we have no idea what it is. So that's more what I lean towards.
Well, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure there was another kind of a side theory, and it had to do with not necessarily the plane, but the passengers themselves.
Yep, that's what I was telling them. There's a group of like whatever engineers and scientists or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But there was something that had to do with cancer that they were throwing out there. And that one was a hard one for me to like buy into, because I am a firm believer that cancer is not what we were told it is.
Oh, yeah.
And we have everything. I think all of us are able to access the things we need. Supplements, vitamins, herbs, remedies, diet to cure cancer.
Yeah, dude. Every pharmaceutical drug was based off of a Chinese herb, of the properties that it's supposed to obtain, or it's supposed to do for the body. And it's basically synthetically created, and that's what pharmaceuticals are. Basically, they're all based off ancient Chinese herbs.
Sure.
Wow. That doesn't surprise me. I've actually been into, I used to go up once a year up to Northern California or not once a year. I would go up multiple times a year to visit my pops up in NorCal. But one of the things that we would do usually once a year is we would go to San Francisco we would go to Chinatown down there. So it's everything in there. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a little Chinatown. Los Angeles has one as well, if I remember correctly, like a little district.
Oh yeah.
And I went into like a Chinese medicine shop essentially, and some of the things that were in there, bizarre, crazy, smelled terrible, smelled super terrible. But they go as far as even using like deer antlers. They grind up deer antler, and that is used. And so anyhow, the fact that that particular theory came out, I feel like that was almost like a psyop, because I don't think a lot of people do rely on pharmaceuticals, and those people probably think that no, like, cancer's real, which I do think is real. I just don't think it is what we're being told. But a lot of people would immediately go to radiation and chemotherapy. And I had this talk with my fiance the other day, and she got really mad at me, because I was mentioning the fact of me having cancer. I said, if I ever get cancer, like, I will not do any chemo or any radiation. It will not happen. The answer is fuck no. I would, I got tubes of ivermectin. I'm looking at getting fembendazole. And these are all things that I would personally use. But anyhow, I'm steering away from the flight, but yeah, that's why I'm kind of not buying into that particular theory that it cancer, but I also still think that it had something to do with a group of people on that plane, a majority or even a small majority of the people on that plane that they wanted. Or maybe they had something that they didn't want the world to know. Maybe there was a contract about to be signed.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a patent that might have came out of it had they landed where they were supposed to land. So, Hank, what do you got for us over here? Oh, this is a good one.
This is a pretty good clip I found. It's a couple of minutes long. It's not too long, but this guy does a really good job of explaining some of the orb stuff going on. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
Now, as we watch this, it's very clear that it's being manually tracked. There's a person moving the camera around. They are not automatically tracking the plane in this video. They zoom in on this plane. They're trying to get the best intelligence possible on it. Then we see the first orb show up. We have a side-by-side that proves these videos are in perfect synchronization. When we look at this orb, it's a nearly perfect sphere. This appears to be a field around a smaller object. This is not a metal ball that we're looking at here. And we can kind of tell because we see the thermal layer kind of have a blending effect where it gets a little bit cooler as it goes around. Now, when these orbs start to get around it, this video shows a lot more information. And we can see that there's these trails. But when we look at these trails, they're actually in front of the orbs. The only reason why they look to be behind the orbs is because these orbs are moving at a high rate of speed, perfectly matching the speed of the airplane. And again, they're moving in this perfect triangle formation. They're also just ignoring gravity entirely. We believe that what it takes to ignore gravity like this is room temperature superconductivity, which can be either obtained through metamaterials, such as LK99 or something similar to that, or by using some type of electromagnetic event, a pulse, an accelerated pulse vibration. Now, this is then essentially giving them zero mass. And when you have zero mass, you can ignore gravity entirely. That's why we think we see this field. If you read the scientific paper by Salvatore Pais that I put out there, he argues for this field existing due to them basically separating themselves from the empty vacuum state, which is thought of as, space-time as we know it. So some people may think that room temperature superconductivity is debunked. Well, it looks like we had it 9 years ago, at least the military did. So I think maybe we should give that one a second shot. Now, again, these lines are coming in front of it, so they are creating their own geodesics. Kim and I were looking at the video of gravity and how gravity really works. I would suggest you guys take a look at how gravity works in general, because I think it's not exactly the way that people get taught in school. Gravity is the interaction between mass over space-time. And what's happening is as time flows, objects are converging towards the curvature of mass disrupting space-time. That's important
Einstein's
because it
theory of
looks like
general
what's
relativity.
happening here is they're creating their own geodesics, their own gravity. They're almost like train tracks that they're running along here. So when we were watching this here, if somebody was faking this video as well, they would keep the plane in focus in the field of view all the time. But what we see here is the person who's operating this drone manually zooms in, and now the plane gets out of field of view. If you were faking this is not how you'd fake it. You'd fake it while the plane's in the field of view the entire time. This is because someone's actually trying to keep up with the plane, and they've zoomed in. And if you were like zoom in with your camera while you're watching something, it's hard to keep it in the field of focus. Now they've zoomed in a ton here as well, because what's going to happen is when this plane comes in, now we can see it very clearly. We can see this heat signature. This heat signature is in the same location as where these exhaust ports are, right near where the landing gear exists. So if you're watching on my stream, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up just real quick so you can see what we're talking about. And if you're not, you're going to have to just trust me that we can see that this heat signature right near the landing gear of the plane. It actually morphs as well. So if somebody's faking this, boy, they're going to a lot of effort to make it look like there's a real heat signature billowing smoke out of the back of this plane. And this is where you can see the smoke line coming from the back of the plane here, which is not lined up with the engine. You can see that it's actually right next to the plane here at a different altitude, a different height than where this engine is at. The smoke does not appear to be coming from the engine. You don't see the smoke coming from right back of the engine here. It's coming from this heat signature that we see down here. So we see the same spiral formation. Notice when I pause it here that there's what we call a monopole here. And tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing a guy named Bob Grenier who believes he can explain the movement of the orbs. He did a video called Fractal Toroidal Moments, where he believes that what's happening here is that, kind of as we've argued, that there's essentially some type of pulse laser or something coming out of this that's able to create this geodesic. And we can see they spin on their axis here, where we see this heat signature from the orbs. They're spinning around, and then before we see our zap happen, our transitional state change, the operator zooms out. To me, this indicates they knew exactly what's about to happen at this point. They know that the main event is about to happen. They're zooming out to get it perfectly in field of view here. And then what they're doing here is they're recording this for intelligence purposes. Either the U.S. government had the perfect assets and the perfect time to collect this, and we're seeing some non-human intelligence that we just got extremely lucky to get on video, or this is an operation that they were expecting. To me, this is an operation. Now, I'm going to try to capture it, but I actually have a better video. But we see the plane just disappear. The operator looks around a little bit, but they don't freak out. Now, as we watch this, it's very clear that...
And I kind of hate that it cuts off right there, but...
Yeah.
I know that was a lot to digest right there. He said a lot, but he said it a lot more eloquently than I could have. Like, I think he did a lot to establish that video probably is credible. You know, that's not a fake video or tampered with video. and if it's not a fake video, then what did we just watch, fellows?
The orbs.
What did we just watch? The
orbs could be highly evolved spiritual beings or humans with highly capable psychic abilities. Because I don't know if you ever heard of Merkaba mysticism, but it's something they study in Jewish Kabbalah, where you meditate to get your consciousness above a state of space-time, and you're able to travel through time and through dimensions, transdimensionally. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised that the CIA has evolved psychics in their program over the years, because we know that they do have Project Montauk and stuff like that, like the Gate program and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Just real quick, we're 1000% doing a show on the Gate program.
Oh, yeah.
1000%.
We were all in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what. Oh, my goodness. Anyhow, yeah, that's crazy. So you were saying it was called the Merkaba. What was that last part of that?
Merkaba mysticism.
The Merkaba mysticism.
Yeah, basically, and it's actually based off a passage from the Bible from Ezekiel, where Ezekiel has the vision of the chariot. So basically, the people, I think it's written in the Zohar, but people who study Kabbalah, they actually interpret that passage as being the Merkaba, which is, I think in Egyptian or Hebrew, it means light body, energy light body. That's what Merkaba. When you put it together, it's energy light body, and it's basically balancing all your chakras and balancing the Merkaba around you, so that you can elevate your consciousness to travel transdimensionally and through time.
And this, I'm going to show a little picture real quick of what a Merkaba, what you fine gentlemen are talking about here.
Yeah,
so
and the crazy thing is,
couple...
it's based on a toroidal field. So when he mentioned that with the orbs, it kind of just dinged in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's almost like infinite.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, infinite, the flower of, this is the flower of life, not the...
It's like a triangle within a triangle that's moving like the same direction, but different angles.
Yep.
And see, that's crazy too, because when you think about it, they mentioned, or that gentleman mentioned in the video we were just watching, he did mention how the orbs or balls of energy, whatever it was in a triangle shape, and they were almost making
that
like,
shape.
I didn't think of that. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
wow.
I had, because they switched rotation at one point to where
shit.
they weren't just going like this. They actually went like this.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of like circle the plane, if you will, instead of circling it this way, like wrap it. It's interesting.
That just kind of connected like the shape or the image of a Merkaba to the actual like motion, if you will. It's just everything's so synchronized.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah,
I've never actually seen that fucking video before.
You
bro.
haven't?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I mean, I've seen like small clips of it, but I haven't seen it like all the way through.
Yeah. I seen that clip maybe, I don't know, a month ago.
Find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
The whole video.
It was circling on X when I seen it.
I'll send you all the clips, so the link to
sure.
the YouTube videos in the comments of that clip.
For sure.
So what do you guys think about this whole disclosure process, talking about orbs? You know what I mean? What do you think about that? The egg UFO. I'm so sick and tired of the grainy footage and this is gonna change the whole trajectory of everything, and they're not giving us any new information that we haven't had for the last 20 years.
That is one. So that's funny. So you mentioned the egg UFO, and I have not heard. Oh, I did see some. Yeah, I saw some video on this, and I didn't know.
The explosion of change of the big reveal of the whole.
Well, and it tied back to Aleister Crowley and his.
Oh yeah, it did.
And his
I forgot about that.
I forgot about the egg. Yeah.
It was crazy because Aleister Crowley was saying like, when it's gonna be a time when you're gonna realize that they call it angels and demons, aliens.
Consciousness is going to be higher than ever, which we can see, like us doing a podcast like this. Obviously, we're not the only ones, you know what I mean?
And then he was talking about like the male and female trying to be switched in society and the whole like transgender kind of thing and all that kind of stuff.
Transhuman, whatever. Yeah. Transhumanization.
Well, yeah, transhumanism. Yeah, well, I mean, that's 1000% happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Mecca is here in California.
Oh, yeah.
Which I have a theory. Let me ask you guys something. Sorry to cut you off. Do you guys have those big cameras outside the parking lots in your stores? Because I was walking by one of those things and it had like the speaker and it was like, these are going to be here for your safety and the safety of your city.
What store was this?
At Target. They have one at Target. They have one at Home Depot.
Are they the ones with the big blue
it's
solar
just
panels?
Parked right there. Yeah, it's just parked right there.
I didn't know those are cameras.
Those are cameras. So look, this is my theory. If I wanted to have a surveillance state, I would weaken the economy. I would lessen the laws for stealing.
Put danger around them, so they need protection.
Danger around them, so they need protection and shit. And not only that, you got a big ass camera in the parking lot of every store because people stealing shit because it's decriminalized. And then you need a fix for it. So what do? You get a president in who introduces a $500 billion private investment for AI, bro. And they install facial recognition and AI into all those cameras, bro.
Social credit.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy. That was just a quick little thing I thought about today.
Yeah, oh man, dude. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's funny, the other day it was literally like a week ago, and I was on my way to work with one of my coworkers, and I was like, do you think those things work? Because it was kind of early in the morning, so the sun wasn't quite out yet, but you can see them blue lights.
Yeah.
And they have them everywhere. And what better, dude, if you think about it, dude, there has to be something with that, like 1000%, because they're at they're in most Walmart parking lots, Lowe's, Home Depot, some malls, and granted, they have been. I've seen them for years.
Yes,
I've seen them out there.
I've seen them upgraded.
But they definitely 1000% are upgraded. Mm-hmm. They're getting smaller and smaller.
If you ever walk by one of them and it starts talking out of a speaker, listen to what it says.
Yeah, I didn't know they spoke.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They talk.
I'm walking by high as fuck. Who's talking to me? Fucking voices.
So
do you got those out there, Hank?
Yeah, we got them at the Walmart in town.
Okay. Now let me ask you this real quick: do you guys have security at Walmart that drive around in like black vehicles that says like whatever brand security?
No, we have our local police patrol the Walmart.
Yeah, at least in Southern California, there is
every business has their own securry, or at least
have their
every
own
lot.
security.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's usually someone at the door, like right when you walk into like the big stores we have here is the Stater Brothers. Whenever you walk through one of those, and at first I was like, this is just San Bernardino, dude. Like that makes sense to me. But there's somebody standing right there. But does that really stop theft though? And I don't think it. I mean, I'm not talking about the security physical humans. But I'm talking, does that really stop it, or is that just some way to collect data? They could just easily be collecting data, building slowly but surely their database for facial recognition and shit.
I did not think about
slowly but surely.
What about tracking everywhere you've been and getting your routine?
Yeah.
If it gets to facial recognition, you know.
Damn.
Yep. How often, where you going? They'll know each one's got its own like probably little geolocation on it, so they know exactly which Walmart. Anyhow, that's wild, dude. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude. So what do you guys as far as getting back to the MH370 thing? Do you think it's more of something that's above, like, you know, like something like Russia versus US? Do you think it's more like CIA, psychic psyops and orbs and stuff like that? Is that what you guys are leaning more towards?
You know, I think it's the orbs, and then our buddy Drew Misson from down there in Australia, shout out Drew Misson, says that MH370 is the biggest psyop to occur in the truther community, and that makes me question, like, well, damn, Drew's not a unintelligent man by any means. He wouldn't just say that. So
that's more my theory. Yeah, I think it's a psyop. I think one government or the other knows, and they did it, and they're covering it up. Who knows where the fuck this plane went? But we know the technology is way more advanced than we can even access. So who knows what they have and what they did with them. I mean, the flight it only had so much gas. It only could have went this far. You know, there's only so many possibilities, and there's no definitive answer. Almost 11 years later, like that's crazy.
Yeah, my buddy Angel chimed in, and he said that he thinks that, speaking of that and like who's running what, who's doing what, is that China is the model society of the NWO being the New World Order.
Yep.
And so when you look at it like that, you go back and you remember the big Chinese spy balloon
that we let fly around.
And see, that's the thing that throws me off too. It's like all the orbs, whether they're UFOs, whether they're balls of energy that were very prevalent in New Jersey. And then you have from like the White House saying like, we don't know what it is. It's like, how the fuck do you not know what that is the biggest crock of shit.
And then you got the guy on Sean Ryan saying that it's like China fucking with us, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Look
Yep,
what I can do, and you
And
can't do anything.
no one believed that for 1 second, dude. That was big for one day, and everyone was like, "That's bullshit."
It was big, dude. It was big for one day. I will never. So it came out on a Friday morning, Friday afternoon. I actually didn't listen to it right away. We ended up doing a show. We talked about it. Our boy Trebles Garcia from Paranoid Radio podcast, he hopped on and he was all for it. Next day, I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this thing through and through. Because I all I saw was clips and all I heard was what people were telling me. I didn't get to witness all of it myself. So I'm sitting down, I'm on my phone, and dude calls me, and I told him I'll call him right back, and he writes me back. He goes, "Bro, the whole Sean Ryan shit was a big fucking psyop. Don't fucking believe none of it," and was going off. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even all the way through this thing yet. But it was crazy because they all kind of tie in. There's always this like narrative of China.
Yeah.
It's that would be like the third thing, because that's just wild to me how they're tying everything. It's not wild to me, but how much I bought into it. You know, right out of the starting gate, I'm like, this is it.
It makes me kind of think that maybe it's one of those. What are those things where they have like a first season of a TV show, and then they do data and they get like a bunch of different random people, and then they test out theories and ideas that might work for the show, and they try to go with the one that the most people like. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what that is? Do you know what that?
I know what you're talking about.
You know the idea I'm referring to? So I think maybe that could be what it is. They're kind of just floating stuff out there, and maybe what all the whole general public decides to believe, we're just going to go with that narrative, and we're just going to go with wherever that takes us. You know what I mean?
Because, they're throwing shit, and they want to see what sticks. They're going to throw shit and see what sticks. What's picking up on social media, what people are going to be talking about. Is it going to be is it going to be on the news? But they're already tied in with the news. You know, mainstream media. They're all one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I still think something weird. Is going on with that. Like 1,000%. It doesn't sit right with me. PSYOP. Yeah. What kind of PSYOP? I don't know. But I do think there's something there, and I think that there's something important about the passengers that were on there, because like if they wanted, let's just say they wanted to test out this new technology for, say, whether that be cloaking the plane or transporting it or making it here at this time, and then snap of a finger it's at a whole nother location. I definitely think it's possible, but then again, it's like, why wouldn't they have tested that out on a plane with no passengers? Because they're claiming that these people, there was 277, I think, passengers total that were missing. I think 13 of which were crew members on the plane.
Well, you also have the Project Bluebeam angle, which if you continue to connect the orbs from MH370 and the orbs that are happening now, and you can kind of connect that to the reason why the government's kind of just like, they seem like they know something, but like, nah, we don't know anything. That could eventually play into Project Bluebeam, where they're just like, actually, we do know that these orbs are aliens, and they're kind of just kidnapping people and causing ruckus and shit. So we all got to band up together and create one world government so we can fight them and shit. Project Bluebeam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like there's a line from that documentary that dropped not too long ago that has gone pretty viral. It goes, planes go up and planes go down.
Yeah.
But what planes don't do is disappear.
Yeah.
So it can be a PSYOP or not, but that plane went somewhere. Something happened to it. It went somewhere, and the truth is being obfuscated.
Yep.
Heavily.
Yep, because that's a lot of people. If you put 200 plus people in a field, well, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And then you're gonna have 200 again, like, oh shit. Sorry, my dog just got in a little fight, little squeal. you have all those families too. So
Yep.
connected to those people, you have 270, X amount of families who have multiple family members. So now you just made aware to potentially thousands and thousands of people that the folks that went missing are missing.
And they declared them dead based on mathematics, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There has not been anything
There's
definitive recovered.
there's no definitive stuff, and they said they're dead, and that's based on
insane,
math,
bro. That's so
but
crazy.
there's such good math led them to an area of an ocean which had nothing.
You know, they claimed that one of the first pieces of evidence of the plane wrecking somewhere in the South Indian Ocean, wherever they said it was this right wing flaperon.
Yeah,
But the problem with this flaperon, according to this one gentleman in that documentary, was that the serial numbers didn't match MH370. So, and there's apparently there's this one gentleman. I think he's an American. This one guy has went out and found.
He's found most of them.
75%
One
of all the
person.
ones that were found, and he has questionable, ties. There's allegations that he's like CIA connected, and
also they think maybe someone's just feeding him stuff, like, and he doesn't
Right.
even know he's an asset to whoever, Russia or whoever you want to say, and
They're just
he
giving
could,
him a rabbit
hey,
chase.
I heard this is over here, and just sending him to find stuff. But yeah, he's found most of the things, which is kind of weird.
yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, but he could be, just a blind pawn in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the chances of that?
Yeah. I mean, shit. What are the chances of a plane missing?
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean?
And no one
It's
knows
like-
anything. No one knows anything.
All right, let me address something right now. Dot just said, "What are the chances of a plane going missing?" Right? Check this out. I'm gonna say a key word here. With all 227 passengers and 12 crew aboard presumed dead, the disappearance. This is an old article, by the way. The disappearance of Flight 370 was the deadliest incident involving a Boeing 777.
Yeah.
It's got to be a Boeing, dude. Like, of course it was a Boeing.
How
I
many
know.
people killed themselves? Boeing whistleblowers.
That's what it was. They was all Boeing whistleblowers.
All of them on board.
That's why the
I
serial
heard
numbers.
I heard they also had recovered Hillary's emails.
Yeah. Epstein's list was on there.
Right.
Just the physical one list they had.
The unredacted JFK files.
Yeah.
They had the missing telemetry from the moon missions.
They had Tesla's formula for free energy on there.
All of it. It was all on this airplane.
John Benet Ramsey.
And the Ark of the Covenant.
Bigfoot.
We might as well throw Noah's Ark on there,
Monster
dude.
was in the- Exactly. Oh Lord. Well, guys, I hope we can meet again when we have a little more time.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
We have to do this again.
Jump into some other avenues, or hell, we can go into like Kyle was saying, this gate
program.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's
That
a
sounds
good one because
pretty
that's pretty
fun stuff,
popular. That's pretty popular right now. A
We
lot
were
of people are
talking about that the other day too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard about it before tonight, and if I had, I forgot about it. So it'll be fun. I'll do some little digging into it.
It was
We can
real
meet back
big
up
out
soon
in
and
California
bang
for
it out.
sure.
Yeah.
Elementary school.
I think it was big in California because I was in it.
Oh, yeah.
I was in
I
it.
was
Are
in
you
it
and
too.
talking
I
about
will-
the gifted and talented?
Yes.
Yeah, gifted and talented education.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
He's like, I remember that. I remember the headphones in the suitcase.
I was in.
telling you,
GT class.
we were in that era where most of us were in it, but
They were looking for the psychics.
yeah.
So do y'all remember Stories with a Hole? And I know y'all got to get out of here soon, but just indulge me real quick. Do y'all remember Stories with a Hole from GT class?
No.
It
What's
was
that?
it was a story that you had to fill in like a major part of the plot to make the story, complete. Like the one example of stories with a hole that I remember, and it's really disturbing thinking back about it now, because we were like 11 through 15 in this program.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And so the story goes like this: there's a man in a room hanging from the ceiling by a rope. There's no chairs, ladders, stools, or any other visible means of how he attached himself to the ceiling. The only other thing besides the man, the rope in the room is a puddle of water underneath the man. How did he hang himself?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a block of ice, baby. You stood on that block of ice.
It was a block. So imagine being 11, 12, 13, and this is what the whole, and you have to, you can only get clues by asking questions. Like you could only ask questions and form a question. Like it was crazy. Like it was, there was obscure rules. Like, and I'm looking back now. I'm like, why in the fuck was that?
I got hanging. What?
What? Nobody thought this was a problem. And then the crazy thing is like after about 15 years old, it just vanished.
Oh yeah,
it just disappeared, and nobody talked about it ever again until like a couple of weeks ago when I seen this Instagram reel that was talking about it. And I was like, I thought I was the only one who remembered this.
All of a sudden, the repressed memories come back, and people talk about it. And I'm like, oh, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. It's crazy. It's super crazy.
Like, and then you hear about other people from other areas of America where this was happening, and some people are being taught like Russian and Mandarin and all these other languages, and you're just like, man, what the fuck was the CIA doing with that?
Yeah, for reals.
Yeah.
So let's definitely reconvene shortly to talk about that. That's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah, bro.
Sounds good.
Kyle, you're gonna have to close us out of here unless you got technical. You over there lagging or something.
Yeah, we can't hear
muted.
you.
I can't hear. Good Lord.
Everything got silent, dude. Like dead fucking silent. And I was, it's good now. I heard the last thing I heard was Hank going, but
okay.
I'll close this out with this. First of all, where can people find you guys? Where are you guys at? Where are your stomping grounds at the moment?
So right now, our show is only on YouTube. I think by next month we'll probably be on the same streaming platform you guys on, but we'll be on a podcast distribution platform. But as of right now, you can find our show on YouTube, Outside Minds Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, Outside Minds Podcast. If it's not Outside Minds Podcast, it's Outside Minds Pod. And then as far as individually, I'm Steelo Free, STEELO Free, and then this is
.420.
Hell free
Gentlemen, it's been great meeting y'all and having y'all on.
Likewise.
The conversation was awesome. I'm looking forward to talking to y'all again.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
You guys have a blessed night. Hasta la pasta. I'm hitting the button.
Later, bro.
Bye. Later, bro. Peace.